This is 10th standard historiography continuation, lesson number 1. So we were talking about expert. So manuscriptology. It is in this, an expert is looking at what? It is looking and verifying the old handwritten material or the record that is there. Then there is expert of epigraphy. Epigraphy is an expert who verifies the inscriptions or something that is written on caves or stones, trees, whatever it is. So he tries to examine it, verify it, and then give us the conclusion. Then there is a person who is expert of old coins. Then there is a person who is expert of genealogy, that is genetic structure of a human being. So there are different types of experts here. Now in historiography, what is there? That is, it is a writing of critical historical narrative is called historiography. The definition, writing of critical historical narrative is called historiography. And what is critical? It is an important event. So the person has to go through it, and a scholar, we call it the scholar of history, is known as historian. So the person who verifies all the things, who critically analyze anything or verifies anything, anything means what? The things and the events that already have taken place. Understood? Now there are various means of historical narrative. Now what it is? Now first is the traditional method, which were there, cave paintings of beam bed covers there. Then Ajanta Ellora, if you go, you will find their paintings are there. Then there was the traditional method of storytelling. Storytelling, we know that very old pattern, till now it is prevalent, it is there. We can hear stories of people, those who fought many wars very bravely. Yes, so there are the stories of kings, brave queens. Yes or no? Then there are very olden times, that is epic stories are there. Yes. Then there are stories of brave warriors. Then there are stories of people, those who have done something good for the society. Yes or no? So the political leaders, some of them, the one who had done a very good, they have done a very good role to upcome the social background of the people, that is, they were the social reformers. So we have stories, and these stories are being passed on from generation to generation. Yes or no? So these are the stories which are told by the old people's, experienced people, to the young generation. And we at home, our family only, just take an example, that if there is a family, they are having grandparents are there, our parents are there, we all are there, so we are the third generation, right? So the first generation, that is our grandparents, what they do, they try to pass on their experience, their stock of treasure which they have through the stories, and they narrate to us, that is third generation. So we know that, okay, they know that what is our roots, what are our roots, who were their grandparents, who they know their names, they know from which village they belong, they know that what work they were doing, they know that how their lifestyle was, where they were living. Understood? So everything they know it, and they tell it and share it to us. So we, as a third generation, we are the freshers at that time, but we collect that all information with us, and when we will be in that phase like them, so we will be passing the same thing to the coming generation. Understood? So this thing is continuous process. So this is how it's a good source of information transformation. It transfers the information from one generation to the other, and it is an ongoing process. It cannot be stopped. So this is the storytelling. Then cave paintings, as I already discussed, cave paintings are the paintings. Why it was made? It was drawn by the artist of very long time, very long years. For example, we have in olden times, in previous Stone Age man, yes. Then after that there was a difference, there was a progress of human beings, but they tried to maintain their some of the traces, or we can say the proofs of evidence that they were living or they were sustaining in that time, and they have carved something or they have painted something, understood, and from that a picture or that inscription or that cave painting, we people living in today's time, we can recollect the thing that okay, these were the things happened, or this might be the people who were living, understood. So different eras, different people, different generation, they have tried to leave some of the proofs of their existence for the next generation. And cave painting is a very good example. If you go to Egypt also, you will find that in some kind of stones inscription they are engraved how the lifestyle of a monarch or the king was there, how the people were. So we know it, understood. Even in if you are going to some of the cave paintings in India, we will find that there are this remains of paintings, or there is a collection of paintings which are there, and at that time they use very natural colors, the colors which were there. That's why these paintings are there very much fresh, understood. So the kings and the monarchs in the olden times, they were having very much interest to appoint the artists, and they were given, these artists were given very great kind of respect in their courts because of their art, understood. So there were singers, there were the people, those who were masters in musical instrument, there were the magicians, there were these painters, artists, there were the sculptors, understood, which were having a very good hold. They were the masters in their fields of art, and they were having the responsibility to entertain the monarchs and the kings, which were very much, because that time there was no source of entertainment. There were no theatres, there were no theatres developed very afterwards, but during Shakespeare period. But before that, in this kings and monarchs palaces or the courts, this entertainment thing was very much in the hands of these all people, like the artists, the skilled artists, understood, and they were given a very important place in their palace and in the court. So these people, the artist, the painter, they were given the responsibility to paint or to draw the sketch of the royal family, and they used to have a big portrait, and it used to be a big masterpiece. And as per the art, what happened, they were knowing that my picture, my drawing will be there on the walls for many years, and the coming generation, the next generation will come to know that I was existing, understood. So this was the main motive behind these works, and that's how, for example, we know that in India, Taj Mahal is one of the great wonders, and this Taj Mahal was also built up by the sculpture, the one who was this and it is really, it's nobody else can make this Taj Mahal again. Yes or no? So it is built in the remembrance of this Mumtaz Begum. And but after that monument was made, what happened? The artist was called by the king, the emperor, and what he did, he asked him that he was knowing that others will hire him, others will give him the work, and he will create the more and more nice monuments like this. So what he did, that you will never work again, and he cut off his many of them they say that the thumb was cut, many of them they say that the hand was cut. But what he did, that was that he went, he said, Emperor, please give me one spare me for a minute. And he went there with the hammer, he went up to the top of the Taj Mahal, and something he did with that hammer, he hit it with it, and he came back. And after that his hand, he was not able to work anymore. But it is said that that monument has drops of water exactly coming to the burial where that place is there. Understood? Where that queen is kept. So it is said that the Taj Mahal is crying. It is said that Taj Mahal is crying, and this is the story that is there behind it. Understood? So the expert, he verifies this thing all, and then it is said to the people, then it is narrated. So there are people, those are working as guides on different tourist places, and these people, they know the different things and the different stories which are prevalent in that region. We don't know it, but these people, they know, and they tell it to the people, those who visit that place for the first time. So there are many places in the world, there are many wonders in this world, and people, when we go there as a visitors, as a tourist, we come to know the importance. That's why whenever we are going to any new place, our observation should be good. Our observation should be in a very studious point of view, that we should not visit that place just for visiting, but we should gather the knowledge, we should get the information, so that when we pass the information to others, when we share it with others, we can share it very precisely. So this was the traditional method. Then there was the song and ballads. Now these folk songs were very much there right from olden times. The farmers, they are having this various songs to be sung during the harvest, before harvest and after harvest, because there is no other source of entertainment for them. So they gather and they sing and they dance and they play musical instrument and they celebrate the harvest, or before harvest or after harvest. So these are the two things. Then there are the songs which are sung in the praise of the great work and valor of brave kings, brave heroes, or brave warriors. In Maharashtra, there are povadas sung, and these povadas are for Shivaji Maharaj, his life journey, life history. And then there are songs which are in a form of a story, like it is right from the starting till the end. So these songs are also very traditional manner it is sung, and old people, they know it more better. Understood? So if we go to village, or if we are asking our grandparents, they will tell this meaning to us very nicely, that what it means, what it is giving us the information, or what message it is giving to us. So these are the various traditional methods which are used by the historian people, or for research. And then now we are going to study about modern methods. Now modern historiography. Now what this is? Now this modern historiography requires the base of traditional history. Now traditional history, the means, as we just now have seen. Now there are four main characters. Now let's see one by one. First one, method is based on scientific principles and begins with formation of relevant questions. Now, if an event has happened, then how this event has happened, why it happened, where it happened, this is all question, and that also in scientific manner, like that. Then questions are anthropocentric. Anthropocentric means concerning human center. The center point of view is humans only. Previously it was that people used to believe that something happened, it happened because of that it is some god or some godly deity has been very much angry, and because of that it had done all this destruction. But this was not now. What was there in modern thing? If the thing happened, then how the people are there, who were there, what happened to them, then what next, right now present situation, how it is. So these all things are concerning humans only, not the godly things. Then answers are supported by reliable evidence. Now reliable evidence means what? Proof. And that also reliable. Reliable means we say how the reliable word is. What is reliable means it should be concrete, it should be firm, it should be true. Yes or no? So this proof should be supported with these answers which are true, with proof. Then it presents a graph of mankind's journey with the help of past human deeds. What it is? It is a graph of past human deeds. That is the deeds, the work that has happened, that have been done by people in the past. And it is a graphical structure. Now father of history, who is father of history? Let's see. Herodotus. Herodotus is the father of history. He was Greek historian of 5th century BC, and his first book was the Histories. In 1737, this Göttingen University was formed in Germany, and this Göttingen University was having Department of History for the first time. No other university has opened up this department, but this Göttingen University was having first history department. You know, by 18th century what happened? There was remarkable progress in philosophy and science. So philosophy, you know that it is about divine intervention of human and that is connection of humans and divine deities or religion. It is concerned related to that. So it is interconnected. How human beings can be connected to God, like that. And very much in detailed manner, the philosophy, there are different philosophers, thinkers who have given up their views. They have studied the religion, they have given up the information about different deities and which were there, and how the practices were there, what all good things that they share it, or they give the message to and they describe. They wanted to give the message to their views and opinions. So that is the philosopher's study. Now let's see who are the modern historians, that is notable scholars. First is René Descartes. He was from France and he was there from 1596 to 1650. Was foremost among scholars who insisted on verifying the reliability of historical documents by critically examining them. So he was a very scholar, and what he insisted on? He insisted on verifying the reliability, the truthness of historical documents by critically examining them. He examined them, all the documents, and his books that he wrote, very famous book discourse on the method. And as per his, he gave the message to the people that never to accept the things blindly without verifying it. You should not believe it. You should verify it. You should try to find out the things that okay, the event has happened, why did it took place, and what happened afterwards. Understood? So next one, that is the notable scholar was Voltaire. Voltaire was there from France. He was there from year 1694 to 1778. 1694 to 1778, and he had a great contribution in French Revolution. He gave the message that while studying historiography and in history, social tradition also is important, trade is also important to study, economy is also important to study, and agriculture also is important to study. So you should equally give importance to these all factors. For example, if agriculture is there, then how the people were doing agriculture in those times, then what happened, how the changes took place. So that is also to be considered. That is also kind of research. That is also a kind of study to be, or the subject or the content that has to be studied in a detailed manner. Trade, how the trade was happening, how the business activities were going on in the past, in a certain era, in certain century, who all were there, how the merchants were doing the business. That was also one type of subject. It should be included. It should be a study content, study matter. Then economy. Then how economy in different monarchs or kingdoms or kings' time it changed. How the currency took place, how the currency started, how it was, which were the means of currency used by the people or by the rulers at that time. That was also a very good topic. Then social traditions, that traditions, how the people are, that how the customs, everything comes in it. That traditionally the way they were doing any kind of ritual, or traditionally they were doing any kind of work. Understood? So everything that it should be scrutinized, it should be combined, and it should be studied. He was founder. Voltaire was founder of modern historiography. Now the next is George William Frederick Hegel. He was from Germany. He was there from 1770 to 1831, and he insisted that historical reality should be presented in logical manner. It should have logic. What is logic? For example, A is equal to B, B is equal to C. So A, what is the conclusion? A is equal to C, or it intercepts C. And so this is how logic should be there, and timeline should be considered eventually. Timeline, it should have the specific, it should be mentioning the specific time. Books that were there, he wrote Encyclopedia in Philosophical Science and Reasons in History. And according to him, human mind cannot understand the true nature of an event without understanding the opposites, for example, true and false, good and bad, etc. So event, what we study, what if the event has happened, that is thesis. Reasoning, why it would happen, or this might happen, or what this is reasoning, that is antithesis. And event and reason together is synthesis, that is togetherness, synthesis. Okay, so then we are going to see about Leopold von Ranke. He was from Germany. He was there from 1795 to 1886, and he taught at Berlin University. Importance of information gathered through every documents, that is original documents, has to be verified thoroughly and examined thoroughly. So every book has to be examined thoroughly, verified thoroughly. Thoroughly means very minutely. And the two books that he wrote is the Theory and Practice of History, and The Secret of World History. Two books. Now, the next and the last that we are going to see is Karl Marx. Now, Karl Marx, he was a combination of philosopher, he was economist, and he was there from belonging from Germany. He was there from 1818 to 1883. And what he said, history is about living people and not about abstract ideas. What he said, what was his idea, or what was his conclusion? History is about living people and not about abstract ideas. Human relationships are shaped by the fundamental needs of people, ownership as well as nature of prevalent means of production to meet needs. Now what it means that human relations are shaped of. Now it is together process. For example, agriculture, land and owner. For example, if agriculture is made, then what type of farming it was done? Then who was the owner of land? Whether the land was free or whether the land was in the hands of some people. And then who all were there doing this farming work? What happened? How the production was? So this all is a combination. It should be considered as a part of study. Then accessibility to the means is unequal and causes division of societies into classes, which leads to struggle. And we know that human beings, now accessibility to the means is unequal. So means these all things that are available freely is very less. It is saturated in the hands of many few people. And what happens, this creates a division among the people. Rich are rich, poor are poor. Yes or no? And society is also class, high class and low class. And there is a struggle for this. There is a struggle to achieve the targets or achieve the position or to achieve the living standard, right? Human history is the history of this struggle. So according to his thinking, human history is the history of this struggle. There is limited means, and how we can use the limited means to achieve the targets, to achieve our goals in our life. How our needs can be satisfied with this minimum and limited means. So this was his ideas and thinking, and the very famous book that he wrote was Das Kapital. So for you all, the homework is read the lessons thoroughly, find out and write out the events, years, understood. Then there is this, you can write that which all monarchs were there in certain centuries. There are different centuries you are mentioned in your textbook. So try to find out monarchs, kingdoms, which were there. Then the artists which were there, famous people, those who were very much prevalent, their name and fame was there. That is your one of the work. Try to complete the notes, find the notes, write down. You are having your textbook with you. You can get the notes there. You can in your study keep on studying, keep on reading. And every subject reading your textbook and lessons is very much important. So the homework for you is do all these things, solve the exercises and read the lesson, events, years which are mentioned here, the hard words, the new words which you are finding. Try to get the meanings there. You can know it, because in day-to-day life we don't use these words very often. So the new word that is there in the lesson, you can write down the meaning, find out the meaning. This is your homework. Okay, so that's it for today.